What is up, you most valuable Vulpix, and welcome back to HJC Games. You got Hayden here as always. And while it's been a bit longer than I wanted for my Battle Styles videos, some things came up. That doesn't mean I don't love this set. This set is super sweet. There's a bunch of cool Pokemon VMAX in it. I've been really enjoying playing it on PTCGO. I've not completed my collection online, so it's time to hop in for another booster box video. In this one, we should be able to move a bit faster. I think we've kind of gotten the hang of the set here. We've seen most cards. There's still some... we still haven't seen a Rapid Strike or Shifu VMAX. I think that's like the big one we haven't seen, or a Victini VMAX, but for the most part, we've seen them all. So we should be cruising. But, yeah, let's just talk about what I've been playing from Battle Styles. So, like I said, I haven't completed my set, so I actually haven't been playing Single Strike or Rapid Strike at all. Those are some of the things I'm completely missing. So, yep. But those decks have proven to be quite strong, starting out with a Bouffalant and a Lickalily. Instead, I have been playing primarily the new Corvisong build, which is the Corviknight V and VMAX combined with the Metal Transfer Bronzong. Oh my gosh. This pack is brutal. Hello? Hello? Jeez Louise. But that deck's been pretty cool. That deck, like I've said before, I've mentioned it in the past, that's the one that uses the Cheryl and tries to heal off as much damage as possible while moving all of the energy around so you don't actually lose from Cheryl's downside. And it's just a really tanky deck that can actually pick up some pretty big speeds thanks to Zacian. While also, these are like the hardest packs to open. I don't know what's up with this box. While also just having solid energy ramp and energy control and resilience to energy denial because you've got like Mad Saucers and things like that. Hello, Rapid Striker Shifu V. It's our first hit of the booster box. Nice. Last I checked, this was like a $7 card or so. Very sweet. Let's put energies over here. Put our hits here, front and center. Excellent. And the thing you're doing with that deck is you're really, you're swapping between Zacian and Zacian and Corviknight VMAX pretty frequently to hit for about 230 to 240 every single turn, which is super powerful. And then, you just heal your damage off your tank, which is the Corviknight. So many Conkeldurs, so little time. That's probably going to be a problem. Hold on, I'll move the energy one more time. It's too far to the left. Get it over there. And so far that deck it's felt all right. It hasn't felt super strong, but it also hasn't felt weak. It feels like it has some good matchups. It has a really good Turbozation matchup, for example. Anything that's trying to just kind of truck through your game plan, it's gonna, nice, it's a Lazzle. It's gonna really mess with, simply because it can just tank so much damage and heal so much of it. But if you're facing a deck that's trying to kind of go around your game plan, something like Victini VMAX or ADPzation, that's really just looking to boss and pick up prize cards, well, you've got a lot of things on the bench that are easy prize cards that are actually really important for you to keep your deck going, like this Bronzong that evolves from that Bronzor. All right, got another hit here. Ooh, this looks like, I'm going to guess a full art Victini V. No, Flapple VMAX is what it is. This is our second Flapple VMAX. I have seen someone play this card. I have seen someone, they had a Rillaboom and they had a Cheryl. They healed it back up to full with the Cheryl. They reloaded it with the Rillaboom, and then they hit me for 250. It was pretty wild. I did not see it coming at all. That doesn't mean I think the deck is legitimate, but that's how I've seen it. Back to Corviknight. But then, Corviknight against like Rapid Strike feels really rough. Your Pokemon just get sniped. Your major ramp Pokemon and actual control Pokemon just don't really stand a chance. Meowstic into Boltund. But overall, I have thought the deck is fun to play. It's a nice twist on Turbozation that adds a lot more tankiness, adds a lot more late game, a lot more sustain, and I think that's cool. The other deck I've been doing is the Victini VMAX deck, which has been actually doing another one. All right. Necrozma. We have not gotten a Necrozma, actually. So let's check out Necrozma really quick. Necrozma V, 220 HP Psychic. For a single Psychic Energy, Prismatic Ray, 20. Does 20, this attack also does 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And then for double Psychic and a colorless, Special Laser, 100+. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached, this attack does 120 more damage. So that is relevant. We do have Horror Energy in the format, so you can actually kind of, especially if you're playing some Aurora as well, you could get that off. But 220 220 takes out Zacians and things like that, but I think the big consensus here is there's not enough of a Psychic Shell to support Necrozma as is. A lot of the Psychic Shell, there is like a Psychic Mewtwo deck that uses Mewtwo and Mew, but it really gets by because it can discard those GX Pokemon and it's a toolbox deck, and Necrozma can't really do that. So that card hasn't really gotten there. But the Victini VMAX decks, and a lot of the early sort of tier list rankings, this deck is coming in very high. It's coming in at like first or second on the tier list. It seems very strong, and it's because it's a very fast, low maintenance, easy setup deck that realistically you just need 2 energy and you can hit for 220 on some really, really, really important Pokemon. And so the way the deck works is Victini VMAX has an attack called Max Victory that does 100 damage, but does 120 more damage if it attacks a V Pokemon. So that means it one-shots Zacians, one-shots Zamazintas without coding energy because it's a fire Pokemon as well. It one-shots most Vs in the game, is the main point. So since Vs are so prevalent and they're, especially if you go first, you can really, nice Primate, that deck's been very real. Especially if you go first, you can snipe the VMAXs or you can snipe the Vs before they evolve into the VMAXs. The deck is just kind of poised really nicely in the metagame right now. There's a lot of targets for it. There's a lot of V Pokemon it can hit. There's a lot of decks that just fall prey to it. Now, it does have some problems. So if your Pokemon does evolve to a VMAX, you know, that does still count as a Pokemon V. So you do still get to hit for 220. So that's not the end of the world. It's not great because you're two-shotting every single VMAX in the game. Obviously, well, Corviknight without coding energy, you would one-shot, you know, but that's about it. But that kind of falls apart. You really want to knock out the Vs and not even deal with the VMAXs for sure. But the bigger problem, nice. These Houndooms have been consistently going for a few bucks. Love this card. But the bigger problem is Pokemon tag teams. Pokemon GX and tag team GXs. Because they tend to have more than enough health. They have more than 100, all of them across the board. And they are not Pokemon V, so you can only hit them for 100. Which means they actually just kind of like stick around. Ooh, nice. Full art Kricketune V. We've gotten the Kricketune, but this full art is awesome. God, I love this. This is actually one of my favorite full arts ever, I would say. I love this note. Yeah, I love the notes in the background, the sort of the golden theme, the golden green theme. God, I love that mustache and the little sword he has. That is so cool. That is such a good pull. I really like that. Talk about Kricketune in a second here. But yeah, so with Pokemon GX, you can't even snipe a Dedenne is the problem. So if you're playing against a heavy tag team deck that's not really playing Crobat Vs, you have a really hard time as your main attacker starts hitting for 100. And we got another one, folks. We're just getting back-to-back Vs. I think it's VMAX. Nope, it's just a V. Victini V, we're just talking about you, buddy. Got 190 HP. He's a fire Pokemon for V Bullet. Single fire energy does 10 damage. And if your opponent's active Pokemon is Pokemon V, it does 50 more. And then for a fire and a colorless, Flare Shot, 120 damage, discard all energy from this Pokemon. You actually don't run this Victini. You run one of each Victini, but you like the other Victini from, I want to say Sword and Shield is what set that Victini's from, but I forget. The one with Energy Burst. That one's a little bit better just because Energy Burst is a little bit better of an attack. But, where was I? I was talking about the GX and bad matchups. But you do run the Reshizard. You know, you run the Reshizard, so the Reshizard gives you something to kind of fight back with in the matchups. You are a Welder deck at heart, so you do have Volcanions, and you do have a lot of the stuff that makes fire decks, you know, currently good. So that's still there. But you now have this very, very fast, very powerful Victini VMAX engine that is just getting donks and knocks for you left and right. So the deck has felt really, really just tempo-based and really effective. So yeah, you combine the two of those together and it makes a good deck, is kind of the main deal. You know, and it's not really surprising, you know, take a previously good shell, add a fast tempo card that just meshes well with the shell, and you're gonna get a good deck. That's just how it works. This is especially, another thing that's really cool about this deck is it doesn't mind going first or second, because if it goes second, it runs 4 Welder and Pokegear, so you can Welder, like, no problem, and maybe set up a Reshizard, get that turn 1 knockout. However, if you go first, well, you have the Victinis, and the Victinis only require 2 attachments, and getting to evolve Victini VMAX before your opponent can evolve their Pokemon V into a Pokemon VMAX is also very relevant too. So going first is actually slightly what you prefer. but going second is also fine. So that's a rare thing for a lot of decks today. Like, right now, Cinescorch hates going first. It's a really big problem. Your energy is so much lower. Like, we're talking, geez, we're talking 6 energy versus 1 energy. And for Cinescorch, that is like, that's life. That's all your damage. That's everything. So that's a big problem. ADPization, it can handle going second. It doesn't like it. It can get the turn 1 Altered Creation GX off with a lot of luck and a really good sequencing, but it'd rather go first. So having this deck that doesn't care if it goes first or second really puts it in a unique place in the metagame right now that kind of helps it thrive, I think. Haven't seen anything from you yet, to be honest. One of the only single prizes I haven't actually had anyone play against me. But speaking of ADPization has remained very good, is kind of the thing. You've seen a big drop-off in Eternatus decks, which, I mean, I'm super here for. I hate playing against Eternatus. It feels like a very low-skill matchup, a very unfun... Hello. Here's our box's secret. This is why I love Battle Styles, folks. So far, every single box has given us a secret rare, which is crazy. I don't think you're supposed to get 1 per box. We certainly weren't getting 1 per box with Darkness Ablaze. So, God, I love this set. And it is... another Phoebe, another back-to-back Phoebe. This is the second Phoebe we've gotten. So we got 2 secret rare Phoebes. Love it. Love it. Absolutely beautiful card. Love, you see the pattern there? That's cool too. You don't notice that. It's like a whole flower pattern the first time. Awesome. Love rainbow cards just across the board. Very cool. That's why I love these. Whoops. That's why I love this set. This set's just cool. Anyway. Yeah, so with Eternatus V and VMAX gone, ADPization lost one of its like worst matchups. So that was super relevant. And ADPization really gained no bad matchups. It fares totally fine against... Nice. This is relevant. The Bronzong. It fares totally fine against Victini V and VMAX simply because, yes, they can snipe your Zacians and your Zacians, but they can't really deal with ADP very effectively, is kind of a problem. So you can set up, you just bench multiple Zacians faster than they can take them out, and then you should be able to just use your boss game just like you're normally accustomed to get through the matchup. I think against Rapid Strike, you know, ADPZ doesn't really require a strong bench setup at all, and they've generally just Zacians on there, which can tank right through a Rapid Strike or a Gmax Rapid Flow. So I think that's another reason that the deck has kind of sort of remained strong and on top, even as we've seen a lot of new decks come into the format. And because the ADPization deck itself hasn't changed a ton. Like, it's running Escape Ropes now, generally, but that's kind of the only new Pokemon it's really running, more or less. And really the other trend is we're seeing the ADPizations run more water energy and more energy in general than they used to for a higher sense of consistency as opposed to just a higher damage output. Because I think right now, having that consistency of the turn 1 or 2 Altered Creation GX is way more important because you just need to get that off. You need to only get 2 knockouts because that tempo, that pacing is so much faster than your opponents that they just can't keep up with it. It's what the deck brings to the table, you know, it's gotta hit it. Another V, Empoleon V. This card is very relevant. Empoleon V, I don't think we've gotten one. 210 HP, Water, Rapid Strike Pokemon. It's got an ability called Emperor's Eyes. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's Pokemon in play have no abilities except for Pokemon with a rule box. Then has Swirling Swice for a water and double colorless 130 damage. Move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon, which is very relevant. It lets you set this Pokemon up, attach a Rapid Strike to it, attack for 130, turn off abilities for a turn, swap the Rapid Strike to like an Urshifu you're building up in the back, and then bring the Urshifu in next turn to Gmax Rapid Flow or something like that. I think do we have another V in here? Yeah, we have another something in here. It's another silver border. This could be another secret. Nice. It's a full art Cheryl. So we're going to get a secret Phoebe and a full art Cheryl in the same booster box. Very nice. So we've gotten the secret Cheryl, but we haven't gotten the full art. And I think I like the full art a little bit better because I really like the background here. I really like the sunlight and the leaves kind of breaking through. She looks so anime girl pretty. Sweet. All right. Ooh. And so that's kind of been some of the meta mix-ups. I guess lately one change for ADPZ is they have been running Rusted Swords, which give them so much more reach against Pokemon Tag Team that it's relevant. Nice, nice, nice. We like the Octilleries. These have also been going for a few bucks as well. In terms of single price decks, really the biggest one, the most relevant one to me, has been the Steam and Mad Strike Primate deck. That deck is real. That deck shows up, and that deck just... It dunks. It dunks on you is the thing. Like, it does so much damage. 250 damage from a single prizer with so little setup is, I mean, it's mad party levels of good. I love that hollow foiling, but the card is useless. It's mad party levels of good. And it's... I don't know if it's more consistent than Mad Party or what, but it feels a little bit stronger because you have the Houndooms. I think it's easier to reload. You know, you need less, you don't need anything in the yard. And your opponent has a lot more interaction points they need to get through than normally with Mad Party. So I like it where it's poised as a single prize deck a whole lot. I think it's going to stick around for a little bit, at least until tag teams rotate, because the matchups against tag teams feel so good since tag teams take so long to set up because they don't have that V or a regular, like, in-between phase. So it's very easy to wait for your opponent to set up a tag team. Nice, nice, nice. I like that hollow foiling. And then after they set up a tag team, or like while they're setting up a tag team, hit it for 250 and then finish it off. And then, like, once the Primate deck kind of gets ahead on prize cards, you know, it's so hard to come back. Like, with the way the tempo swings, since they're giving up single prizers every turn, and they're still almost trading 1-for-1 with a lot of your 2 prizers, like, it's really, really, really hard to catch up. Just blink into Drampa. We've got 3 packs left, folks. Solid pull. Solid booster box so far. A full art, a secret art. I guess we did get the VMAX. We've gotten a couple Vs. We would love another VMAX to close out. We haven't seen any Single Strike stuff, which is really strange. You know, I thought Single Strike loved us. I thought Single Strike was going to show up every single time we opened a booster box, but I guess I've been let down. Here's the Tranitar V. We are getting some Single Strike, but you know, where's my Urshifu buddy? He's normally always here. 2 left. But yeah, folks, that's been kind of my state of the meta right now. I still think Rapid Strike is a little bit better than Single Strike, but both of them are good decks. Both of them are like solidly mid-tier, top 10 decks that represent a very real threat. They're very threatening. They're very fast. They're very powerful. Yeah. And so far, again, love this set. Love this set. Been super fun. Has shaken up the meta a lot. Created a lot of new decks. And I really like how we get a lot more decks other than just the Rapid Strike, Single Strike decks. You know, we all expected there to be an Urshifu deck, but it's so nice to get the Victini deck as well. Go through this one nice and slow, as always. Murkrow. Horsey. Cherubi. Lickitung. Electabuzz. Alright, not bad. Foil Cherim. Stunyorner. We are going to close with some Single Strike, though, folks, into a Grass Energy. Tower of Waters, Corinna's Focus, Perugly. And that's gonna close us out, folks. Let's go through our hits real quick here. Guys, gals, and NBs. Got our Tranitar V, Full Art Cheryl. Maybe best hit of the pull. Napoleon V, Secret Feebri. This is probably the best hit. Victini V. Ooh, the Full Art Cricketune. I forgot about that for a second. I love this pull. Necrozma V, Rapid Strike Urshifu V, Flapple V Max. Nice variety on the pulls here, folks. All right, that's going to do it for this video. As always, you can buy these cards and so many cards over at hjc.cards. It really helps us out so much when you go buy our cards and support the channel. We really appreciate that. If you could check us out and see if we have something you need. Otherwise, I'm going to do what I always do here, folks, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you to have a good night and be good to one another.